Hello and welcome to the newest installment of Avenicast, the first job podcast. Joining me here today is, virtually here today, is Dan Feller. Dan is a director of account management and partner at Rocket55, which sounds like a company that sends people into space, but I think you guys do something, maybe metaphorically, but Dan, thanks for being here and excited to hear about your story.
Yeah, well, you're not too far off with sending people to space, though. We always talk about launching a business's revenue to the stratosphere or something along those lines. Pick whatever tagline you like from the CEO that day. Rocket55, yeah, it's a digital marketing agency here in Minneapolis. And we pride ourselves on being the largest digital-only agency in the area. There are a lot of companies that, from small to large, that do offer digital marketing, but many of them have done it as a bolt-on service. I think like a traditional advertising company that does TV and print and radio, and a lot of those companies added digital on. Well, what makes Rocket55 a little bit different is all of our 68 plus in-house staff are strictly digital marketers, and we've been that way since the company was founded back in 2008.
Very cool. So is it safe to say, I know I like years ago would hear digital marketing referred to as like another channel in marketing, right? In a way, you're saying that it is it kind of encompasses a lot of different marketing, and there's a lot of different channels within digital marketing, I imagine, right? It's sort of the way that things happen now.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of the marketing pie, digital has always been a slice of that pie, but over the last 10 years, the size of that slice has really gotten much larger. In fact, a lot of companies now rely on it as their sole method of advertising or their sole method of marketing, with the exception of your big Fortune 500s that, of course, are going to be in quite a few different markets. When I'm talking about digital marketing, it's going to be things like search engine optimization, how you show up when people search in Google, paid advertising, that's paid search campaigns, display and remarketing campaigns, those spooky ads that follow you around the internet after you visited a website once. Social media, obviously, in the last 10 years, but in the last 5 in particular, has really taken off in all of their acquisitions with, LinkedIn advertising and Instagram and Facebook and now TikTok and Snapchat. So that area of marketing as well. Website design and development is a major part of our wheelhouse. It's a no-brainer now that every single company out there needs to have a really polished online presence, and that all starts with the website. Marketing automation, sending timely messages to people using email and drip campaigns. And then the broader topic that's kind of a weird one is content marketing. How do you get the right kinds of content in front of the right people at the right times? In fact, a podcast is something that actually fits well within the range of what is content marketing. How do you get that right message in front of an applicable audience? So basically the way we say it is, if it's online, it's probably something that we do.
We must have a really good digital marketing partner to be, so ahead of the game and be doing a podcast, right? I mean, I think that's a high likelihood. Cool. So, I mean, as you alluded to, the last 10 years or so, let's say, has really been pivotal in the world of digital marketing. So, I mean, did you see the future? Were you just like smarter than everybody else and just said like, hey, I'm going to go get into digital marketing because that's going to be a big thing? Because I think, even, when I think back, I mean, even around 2010, 2011, it was becoming a bigger thing. Obviously, it was, something people knew about, but to your point, it was still a slice of the pie. There wasn't that much emphasis and focus on it as like the pie or its own pie, right? So, what brought you into the digital marketing space? How'd you land there? What did you study in school? What's the origin story here?
Sure. So, I mean, I'll go back to the beginning, I suppose, but it wasn't because I had any sort of unusual foresight. It was actually mostly happenstance that I found my way into the digital marketing industry about 15 years ago now. And I started actually by going to school. I went to college at Full Sail University down in Orlando, Florida. And I originally went to school for film. I I thought I wanted to be a famous director or a cinematographer. And then I realized that that was a very hard industry to get into. So I thought I'd try something a little easier. And I got into websites instead. So I went to college, like I said, originally for film, but I switched my degree, my major to digital media, which was everything from it did include print as well as 3D graphics, motion graphics, but chief among them was websites, design, development, online advertising. Of course, this is way back before Google Ads was even Google Ads, and kind of just really grassroots kind of advertising methods. Graduated with a degree in digital marketing. Full Sail, if you're not familiar with the school, I'll give it a little bit of a plug. Their tagline is real world education, and it is very much the case. You are in class for about 50 to 60 hours a week. And that includes weekends. It's a 24-hour school. I had some classes that literally started at 1 o'clock in the morning. It is relentless. You don't really get breaks. But in doing so, I was able to get a 2-year degree in just about 10 months. And after graduating with that degree, I went out into the industry trying to find a job. Was really, really difficult. So I decided to go back to school, same college, this time for business. So I ended up getting a 4-year business degree and then my associate's degree in digital media, all within the time span of just about 2.5 years, which was awesome. I've got a very fast-paced method of learning. I like cramming a lot in very quickly, but that actually enabled me to get out into the hiring world prior to the job collapse in 2008, which a lot of people don't remember fondly. And it was pretty fortunate for that.